Thomas Sweeney with TNS News.
This is Simon Zimmerman with TNS News.
New Prime Minister Gordon Brown is giving his first monthly news conference since he took office last month. Let's find out the
This is TNS News, and today we have with us Gordon Brown, Prime Minister of the UK.
Good to see you, Simon.
Alright, let's get straight into this. As probably most of us are wondering, what are your differences between your predecessor, Tony Blair?
Well, Tony Blair did a great job in office. I can't lie about that. I was superbly impressed with the things he did, and it'll be hard to amount up to what he did, but I'll do my best. We both focus on the same issues, global warming, CO2 emissions, and I think I can do a very good job, just like he did.
Alright, well let's continue. As you probably all know, you've heard about the flooding in the UK of 2007. It was a huge crisis within the UK, caused many problems, and as probably many of us are wondering, were you fully prepared? And even with the forewarning from the north, do you believe you did all you could for the southern parts of the UK?
Well, Simon, I believe that although there are small pockets of areas that were relatively unprotected, and when I say small, I mean small, that yes, fire department, police department, they all did their part. This was successfully avoided as best as we could, and it was very, very successful. I believe that with the information we had, we did the best that we could have, and everyone got equally involved, and I think we got decent results.
Alright, let's continue. About the Kyoto Protocol.
Just a general explanation, or?
Yes, please.
Alright. Well, the Kyoto Protocol is a general contract brought up to enlighten the people to get their agreements to bring down their CO2 emissions. And England believes very, very strongly that this is an extremely important document, that if you can't sign it, your country can't move forward in this area of government. And yes, England has signed it, and we have met our goals that we have set. The only countries currently that haven't are the United States and Australia, and England is currently putting political pressure on them, of course, to change that. So, yeah, we have a lot of things underway, and we plan to get them done.
Alright, well, I guess that ends our show today.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks.
Obviously, like every advanced industrial country, we're coming to terms with some of the issues surrounding climate change.
If the sea level rise occurred fast enough, some major cities might have to be abandoned, like for instance London, because it's too complex and too expensive to build the seawalls as high as are necessary.
Welcome back. Now with me I have Hilary Benn, the leader in, well, explain.
Alright, well, I'm the Environment Minister of the United Kingdom.
Oh.
Yes, I assist Gordon Brown in much of the CO2 emissions problems and the flooding of this year, 2007.
Alright, and I am Thomas, your interviewer, and, well, let's get started, I guess. So, you've explained your position in the government. Now, can you go a little bit more in detail? What do? You work with Gordon Brown, you said. Just kind of give us a little background here.
Well, for example, the flooding, me and Gordon Brown together made a review, studying what went wrong with anything, and what we could have done better. Kind of to show something to be more prepared next time if that happens again. And we also work a lot on the CO2 emissions and what the UK itself can do and what we can do to help surrounding countries such as the United States, Portugal, Spain.
So, you mentioned this flooding, and of course I've heard about it, and it seems to be a very serious issue. How about a little bit more background on that right there?
Alright, well, the flooding was a crisis within the UK. It affected all the UK, and we believe it was caused by climate change. It was one of the worst floods we've ever had. And, well, we did a great job, I believe, as I visited an electric company a while ago, and met many emergency services, and this topic's been discussed many times. And we made sure everything went well. We did the emergencies, the Homeland Security, Police Department, Fire Department. They all did a great job, and sandbagged buildings properly, got the staffs out. I believe we did all we could, and we saved probably as many lives as we could.
Well, that brings us up to the next point. Do you think that in the end it was a successful prevention? Do you think you got successful evacuations and people received the info that you were giving them through either like television or radio announcements that they would have to leave the area? Or do you think that overall it was relatively unknown until it was too late?
Well, this is a question asked quite often, that since the north was flooded first and if we were prepared enough for the south. I do believe we were. I believe the emergency services did a great job. We saved many lives. We got the proper damming up, and we evacuated cities very well. You might have heard about some of the flooding in the south, the rivers overflowing. I believe we evacuated people properly for that, and I think if we given the opportunity again, I don't think we could have done much better.
Well, that's a very noble statement there. Now let's move on to, well, what the English government believe caused this, CO2 emissions. Now, since you're head of the environmental section of the government, can you please explain to us how England is coping with this, how they plan to reduce CO2 emissions, even more than it already has?
Well, as you know, we've reduced our CO2 emissions greatly. We've met the Kyoto Protocol already, and, excuse me, we've also been working on the EU. They had themselves a reducing program for CO2 emissions, and mainly right now, since we've greatly reduced ours, what we really want to do is try to reduce, get other countries to reduce their CO2 emissions.